Good evening, everybody, or good morning, wherever you may be. We've got people joining us from all ends of the world, this round world today. So thank you all for being here. This webinar is going to be about music and technology. So we have some great musicians, and we have Indra Putra, who's a music producer. And we have Andrew Frankland, who's going to be talking to us about how art and music and culture can join into very scientific projects like reforesting a country and how it will help the planet. So we're very excited. Just a few little maintenance issues. We've got this webinar is being recorded and will be shown on YouTube live. It's live now, and it will be shown on YouTube later on. So you can always go and catch up or share the links if you want. The idea is that you interact with us in the audience, and so you've got a Q&A button just down below in your screen, center screen. Please ask any question you like, and I will share it with our panelists, who will answer if they can, and who will tell us where to go if they can't. And then at the end of this webinar, we've got a very exciting project that we would like to announce. And so I'll keep it as a surprise, but and we'll let Indra talk about that. But maybe we'll start just by introducing yourselves. Why music is because the NFT world and WISe.ART has been uploading NFTs, and we've been with Indra since the beginning for almost 12 months now. And all the musicians that are here with us today and a lot of other ones have joined in a collaborative song called The Human Race. And the NFTs are available. You can buy the music on WISe.ART, and you can also get collectibles linked to them. So that's a little bit the story. And we've been working with other musicians as well on the platform. And it's just another way of introducing the NFT world, because a lot of people are talking about art, but there are other ways to get involved. So maybe Indra, you can start by introducing IM Productions, and why you're doing this and who you are and how it works.
Well, thank you so much, Sixtine.
You have a stalker behind you. Who is that behind you?
Yeah, this is a guest star, Edovidi.
Yay!
Edovidi is come right now to join us.
Sure he's welcome. He looks like an intruder coming in to rob you.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I invite him to come with us. Edovidi is the one. He's the guitarist also, and musician that joined the Human Race. And yeah, thank you so much, Sixtine,
I want you guys to jam at the end of the session. This is the surprise, right? So you're all ready to go, I hope.
Ready.
Okay. So yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, Sixtine, and thank you for your support. And then since the first place, then when we are finished the song and we working together with you, and you are the one has give us the opportunity to join this WISe.ART to help this program. And then yeah, well, I want to let you guys know that I'm co-producer. So the music producer is director Mr. Sherinian. So I'm one of the composer of the song, and we're starting doing this project because I got a phone call from Andrew, under Mr. Pottercarry. I'm working with him together before in White Feather Foundation, which belongs to Julian Lennon. And he called me, and then he said he got this. It's happened in 2020, in 2020 when the pandemic hit. And he just let me know that he told me that he got a new project called ForestNation, and he told me so many things about the information about ForestNation, and he is a founder of this ForestNation as well, and with the other people that joined with him. And I'm starting to think about how to do this project together with him, and it came up because of pandemic lockdown. We cannot go anywhere. Everyone is at home, stay at home. And then I'm starting to think about what should I do now? We got to think something else to make this happen. And then I came up with the idea was how about writing a song, music for something like we can do together, because everyone is staying at home and playing music live, you know, every screen, you know, just like collaboration between each other. And then I love music. And then, yeah, I get back to Andrew and I said, Andrew, how about we just make us, I told him about my idea, and he was very excited about that. And he said, okay, Indra, let's do it. And then I'm starting to think about to write a song and starting to write a song. And the first guy that I call is Guitarist. And he is the one said yes to me, they're helping me to starting doing the, you know, the track and all this kind of instrument stuff without the lyric. At the first place that we don't have the lyrics.
So you guys went together. You played your music each in your separate areas. I forgot to say, but Ron and Derek are in Los Angeles. You're in Indonesia.
Right. I'm in Bali.
Bali.
I'm in Bali. Derek in LA. Ron in New Jersey. Dirishihan in Tennessee. Oh, it's all is all around the world. Dino from Croatia is everywhere. You know. So we are so grateful that after we're trying to start doing small thing like, you know, writing, compose the song and all this kind of track, and then we have a very good support from Mr. Pomerantz, David Pomerantz. He is a multi-platinum producer, and I contact him. I send the email to him, and I talk to him about what we're going to do, and then he was sort of very kind and very nice, and he said, Indra, I will help you to finish this project. And then he encouraged us to, you know, to finish this track, this instrument, and all this kind of stuff. And then after we finished that, I talked to Edo. I said, we need to invite the other musician to play together. So what should we do now? And he was the one as give me the suggestion that probably that we need to talk to Derek, Mr. Sherinian. And then I starting to send the email to Mr. Sherinian, to Derek. And then it's just need like 30 minutes because I very detailed describe everything about this project. And he's get back to me and he said, hey, buddy, I can help you. That's Derek. That's Mr. Sherinian. Thank you so much. He's the one. Yeah, he's the one who's really very helpful. And then and then after he saw the track and all this kind of stuff, he said, Indra, what kind of concept that you want to bring the musician together into? I said, I have no idea, because I'm not, you know, I'm the businessman. I'm doing business and entertainment business, and of course, in music, but I never wrote a song before. But this is a very special program that I really want to make it happen. And then Derek said to me that, how about, you know, I asked him that, could you help us become a, you know, helping me to become a music director, music producer? And he said, okay, let me consider about it. And then he get me a back for, I think the next day, and then he back to me and he said, hey, Indra, let's do it, man. And the first guy that he's bringing is Mr. Ron Bumblefoot. I said, what? I met him before when he was, we were friends, you know, we met before in 2013. And me and Edo met with Ron, and Ron was signing a guitar for us. He was still in the Guns N' Roses. He still played with the band of Guns N' Roses. And I said, wow, it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's direct to bring Ron to us. And then is very happy to have, you know, to have these people, you know, these gentlemen. So
Ron, how long did it take you to think? Ron, how long did it take you to think to join? Was it
I didn't have to think. As soon as I heard who was involved, it was like old friends, and of course, Derek, and yeah, absolutely was happy to be part of it. Yeah.
I was when Indra first approached me and was describing the project and about climate and just everything that he was describing, it really resonated with me, and I wanted to be involved with it. And as soon as I heard the music, I made suggestions of bringing in, you know, friends that I collaborate with all the time. Ron and I do a lot of playing together, and then we brought in Simon Phillips on drums, who is a world-class, amazing drummer. Billy Sheehan also on bass, very famous.
Yeah,
And
very famous.
Dino Jalusic, who is a bright new star. I think we're going to be hearing his name a lot in the future. Ron and I are doing work with Dino. And Jeff Scott Soto, a legendary singer who's been around the scene for a very long time. And so, am I forgetting anyone? No, that's us. That's the team.
That's the dream team.
The dream team, yeah. And, so it started off with recording the song, and then we took it to the next step and did a video. We actually got everyone from all over the world to Los Angeles. The video.
Yeah. Amazing.
So Love Is Blind, yeah, for the song number 2, yeah.
And it was just, it's just a great team, and I love Indra and all of his people, and we're gonna do a lot more stuff in the future.
Cool. And Indra, how did you come about the idea with the NFTs? How did you find out about WISe.ART?
Yeah, so when I finished the song, I back to Andrew, and then I told him that Andrew, we already done the track and the music and all the song, and I sent to him. I said, it's time for us now to looking for something that can help us to to fulfill the program, the fundraising and all this kind of stuff. And then Andrew, and I sent to him, I didn't tell him about who is involved in this song, and I just sent it to him, and then he listened to the song. Oh, it's very nice, Indra, it's cool. And then I mentioned who is the player and all this kind of, what? No way. I said, yeah, this is what happened, man. This is what happened. So we are so grateful that we have the very huge support from the legendary musician. They have a beautiful soul, these people. And then yeah, we're so grateful about that. And then I'm looking for something, because in that era, of course we deliver our songs through the platform, the online streaming platform like Spotify, YouTube, and all this kind of stuff, and iTunes and all this kind of stuff. And also I'm still figured out what is the next thing that we need to do, because of the, I'm doing with my own things as technology as well. So I'm look at the NFT stuff, and then what happened is I found WISe.ART. I found WISe.ART because
Yay.
WISe.ART, yeah. So, and then I sent the email to WISe.ART out of nowhere, just to describe what we are going to do. And Sixtine, thank you, Sixtine. You are the person that really gave us a good response and a positive response. That we thank you for that. And then
I like the project. I like the whole thing seemed to be gluing so well together. But what was funny, I remember in our very first discussion, is that I don't know how it is in the States or in Asia at the moment, but in Europe, people are going back to vinyls in a big way. Like it's, people are wanting to play the long, what you call them in English, long haul, the 33 turntables.
LPs.
Yeah, LPs, that's right. And so
right.
that was my first idea, is like, okay, NFTs and music, I'm not so sure, but sure, like, we can do it. We have the technology. But what about some vinyls as well? So one of the questions was to the musicians maybe is, are you integrating all the new technology? Are you working, like putting everything that you write now or that you play on the blockchain, or how are you using it?
Derek, you want to go or you want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. Well, first, let me just say that the idea of doing something that includes NFTs and vinyl is a beautiful idea. It's like it's connecting the past and the future, which, I mean, the future, it's the present, but it's going to be a bigger future, I think. For myself, well, the interesting thing about the music world with NFTs is there's different types of music. The fans, like let's say hip hop and EDM, electronic, they were much quicker to embrace it. And I find that rock is more of a slow, skeptical kind of thing, but they don't realize that an NFT does not mean that you're buying a volatile cryptocurrency. It's not that. It's more like a coupon in a way. That's this smart coupon that can grow and change and integrate so many other things. You know, the contract that's inside it is shapeable and it's not just written in stone. So there's so many possibilities of what can be done. I mean, I'm thinking about that so much. Just, you know, I have an album that I've been working on, a solo album, and I'm thinking to myself, what can I do in Web3 world? Because it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
So can I take my guitar and make it into some sort of, you know, weapon that I can license out to video games or something? Can I make NFTs where you get, besides the album, you know, free tickets to a show or something like that? Or I know a good friend of Derek's, Joe Bonamassa, they have a band together and they do a ton of work together. He did a whole NFT thing with one of his past albums, a recent past album, where it even included, you get one of his guitars, like all kinds of things.
Wow.
There's so much that you can include. It's not just the digital zeros and ones binary world. It includes the physical world. It brings the two together in a way that is insurable, where there's so many musicians I talk to that just don't understand what is an NFT. Well, you know, what is a baseball signed by Lou Gehrig or something? You know, it's a collectible that is unique. It has value because of its scarcity, and we place the value on it as people. Yeah. Now, to bring that into the digital world, that's what an NFT is. It's something that has scarcity and uniqueness. When you get physical cards that are numbered 1 through 100, you know that they're 1 through 100. You just have the one. So people question, well, how do you do that with, let's say, NFT art? Because anybody could just replicate it as a JPEG, but it's the encoding, the contract inside it that verifies what it is, that proves that this is really the first one or only one or the 100th one or whatever it is. And with that contract, there's so much you can include depending on whatever you want it to be. It's so open. Anything's possible.
I think what's great is the imagination has no limits, so you can, you know, you add things. Last year I went to Tomorrowland, which is an electro big music festival here in Europe, and it was up in a ski resort, and you had to go very early in the morning, and it was a bit like a treasure hunt, and you collected bits of the NFTs, and at the end of the day it gave you the secret venue of the next show. You know, and there were loads of, not even kids. I mean, I was one of them, but I mean, there was loads of people who were skiing like mad to try and get there first, to go and get, you know, to be able to scan the code, etc. So it made it a whole, I mean, the concert experience was just so much better, or so much more exciting, because there was so many things to do. And then at night, when you finally finished everything, you could go and listen to the concert. And I'm sure that those NFTs will become collectibles, because this year's Tomorrowland has a completely different design. So by the year, you'll know, you know, when it's Fairyland, it was this year, and when it's going to be, I don't know, Hell, it's going to be another year, etc. So that's also interesting, because you can theme it, and it all stays in the blockchain, and it will be, once the, you know, all these meta spaces arrive, that will be a big game player as well.
And one of the concerns about NFTs is just how much computing energy it takes to make one. So that's another thing that's a concern of people, but that is even improving as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's changing almost every day. And I've read somewhere that the energy that is used for NFT minting is actually minimal compared to what, you know, a bank is using by doing just daily money transfers. So, you know, everything's relative.
True.
Yeah. Derek, what was your, how, with all those keyboards around you, how are you doing NFTs?
I'm learning about NFTs. I mean, it's very new to me. I think from just a musician standpoint and not an expert, I think the challenge to make NFTs to be more widespread is that people that like collect stuff, there's a certain pleasure in a tangible asset, something that you can hold, the baseball card, the baseball or the LP, the album, something you can feel and hold. And so there's a little bit of a disconnect with purchasing a non-tangible asset. There has to be a way, I think, by tying in, like what Ron was saying about Joe Bonamassa, something tangible along with the NFTs.
Mhm.
That's going to be the trick, is to get people to really see the value.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Right.
to see the physical part as the thing you get, and the NFT itself more as just the validation and the digitized icing on that cake.
Yeah. And that it's
It's
yours,
digital.
like that icing belongs to
Yeah.
you and you only, which makes it that little bit more special. Andrew, I'll get back with you, Indra, but as Indra said, Andrew, you're you were the sort of the seed that you planted, that seed, if we go back to vegetation. And so what just tell us a little bit, what is ForestNation?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Just to confirm, I am Andrew Frankland. The other Andrew that Indra is referring to is Andrew Pothecary, who's our
sorry.
CEO and founder. I'm the Revenue and Operations Director for the company. Andrew unfortunately couldn't be on the call, but hopefully I'll do. So as far as what Indra was saying, the initial seed, it's a great pun and very, 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 very worthwhile for this, was planted by that conversation. And I was kind of a part of that conversation as well. I think when it initially happened, Andrew passed Indra, put us together, and we had a chat about how this might come together. And it was all in Indra's mind. And I was like, okay, this is amazing, but how's this going to work? And then literally, month after month, more messages would come back saying, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. It was really, really very fascinating to see. And what we wanted to do as an organization that partner with brands, with producers, musicians, artists, corporations, to allow them to promote their environmental advocacy. What we could see here was that by working together, we would potentially be able to get more traction for the sale of this of the music. And so we set up a very simple system, which was, I believe, initially for every download, a tree would be planted. So one song, one tree. And it's really starting to get some traction now. I think the NFT scenario as well, as that starts to get traction and there are more individuals that take up the NFT avenue as well, we're going to see many, many more trees planted. So just taking a step back as to your question, what do? We plant trees in heavily deforested regions of the world. Now you can plant trees anywhere. We have a climate crisis, which we're all very aware of. But what we do is we say, look, we need to plant in places where there is heavy deforestation, because deforestation is really the main catalyst towards the climate issue that we have. And so we plant with communities that have suffered, drastically because of deforestation. The sort of things they suffer is food insecurity, obviously the inability to plant and grow fruits. So we plant 70% fruit trees with these communities. And so the sort of activity and action that's taking place here is somebody buys or downloads the song, and then a tree is planted. It's planted firstly in a nursery, and it'll be in a nursery for about 6 to 9 months until it's starts off about the size of your thumb, and then grows to about the size of a person, and then is planted in the forest. Now, that tree is going to be nurtured and looked after over many years, usually around the first 4 to 5 years before it starts to bear fruit. But all the time that that's happening, it's actually providing income for the families that grow those trees, because those people are actually paid a salary to grow the trees. Obviously, it's nominal in comparison to the income that we receive in these parts of the world, but it means a huge amount to these families. And so that's what we do on the ground. That's the kind of offtake of the One Song, One Tree program. But then, what's really key is that so many individuals can get involved in other ways. Now, I'm probably gonna, if it's possible, we'll get a link out to everybody to actually have a look at the forest that has been grown so far. It's possible for people to come and plant more trees in that forest as well. It's possible for people to actually understand a lot more about the impact that we're having. We really like to promote the impact that's being created, because a lot of people think, okay, it's a tree, and then they kind of switch off there. But actually that tree is there for a lifetime. It's there to create a huge amount of support, not just for the climate, but for the people that grow the trees as well.
Yeah, that was one of the packages that we had described with Indra at the beginning, is we had NFTs linked to vinyls, and some were like pressed green vinyl, and they had, the covers were all signed with the original signatures of the musicians. And then we had the normal black vinyl with the cover where the signatures were printed. And then we had the really big package that included a trip to, at that time it was Tanzania. Is that still the case in Africa?
That is exactly where the forest is, yeah, in Tanzania.
Yeah. Okay, so that hasn't changed. So anybody who's listening, if you want to be part of this beautiful program, then you have to buy the different packages on the WISe.ART, or also you can download the songs. But Indra is not just in it for the trees at the end of the day, right? Your philanthropy goes a little bit further. And then we had 2 programs together already for the children of Ukraine. Remember the lost children of Ukraine? So we did one first fundraiser with the vinyls. And then now you've got another surprise, which we're keeping to the end, but that's what we'll talk about. And it'll be interesting. If anybody has any questions out there in the audience, I'd love to hear from you. Remember, it's down there in the chat box. They're being very quiet at the moment. Maybe we're being a bit intimidating. Ron, obviously philanthropy is also a concern. I imagine I saw you clapping earlier when we were mentioning about it. Do you think the music industry, as you mentioned before, they will be causing ticketing, etc. But I think there's also a thing with the royalties with musicians. An artist, for example, a painter, if he sells the NFT and then there's a traffic of NFTs and there's more and more transactions going on, there's money raised every time for the creator. Do you think that that'll be an incentive to also include much more philanthropy than there is now, and it can be, to save the planet and to reforest or whatever?
I hope so. I mean, I think that when any individual that is in a position where they can give and help by whatever means are available to them, they do it. And the more means that become available, and as technology gives us new ways to do that, people are going to jump on. So yeah.
That's great. Great faith in humanity. I love it.
We're not all bad. as a group, there's a couple of good ones out there that like Indra and all of you.
And yeah, absolutely. And then with all this technology, one thing that's been booming absolutely is artificial intelligence coming in. And you guys as creators and composers, are you playing with that? Derek, are you using artificial intelligence for your next song?
No, the pool of creativity within is deep enough where I don't have to go outside. And with my friends that I collaborate with, I like to keep things human in the musical realm. I have enough synthesizers that are like little robots. It's my job to make them sound human.
But they might be using AI already, no? Into artificial intelligence, no? Not with the rhythm box.
Things. Listen, there are certain things you cannot replace. With there's people like that are writing songs now in movie scripts in AI, and you see it. But look, God's creation is us as human beings. You can't replace the soul of a human. You can imitate like certain things, aspects and elements of creativity, the divine creation, but you can't replace the human element.
Yeah, feeling and soul. Indra, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I agree with Derek. I saw the news. We have seen the news. That like Elon Musk and Steve Wozniak
Yeah.
and the other guys, they signed something about they got to stop this AI development and all this kind of stuff. I'm not 100% agree with that, because you cannot stop the technology, because there is going to be, the technology cannot be stopped. But I agree with Derek that humans cannot be replaced by technology like AI. But we need to find the fine tune between these two kind of situation, just like the Web 3 and the Web 2, just like what we're doing right now. So I think the AI should be become a new technology that can give added value to the human creation. Like music, you can.
I think we're asking
just
for trouble. There's going to be. I think we're asking for trouble with AI. I think it's going to get out of control. I do. Something's going to go bad because there's going to be a corrupt. There's going to be a corrupt human somewhere in the mix that's going to use it for profit, and somehow the AI is going to overtake the humans. That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah. I'm trying to explain it. I agree with that. What I'm trying to explain is, not to stop the development, but have to be controlled to make it become very ready to, for adding value for the art work and all this kind of stuff, but not becoming just like release it to the public and then everyone can doing the open source and those kind of stuff. It's going to be like more risky. So
I think it's also gadgety. Like you can ask GP Chat, or until now it's banned in Italy, but you can ask GP Chat to write you the code to hack somebody else's computer. So I mean, that's where it becomes a little bit tricky.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So talking about, can I explain something about NFT stuff?
Absolutely.
16? Yeah. So what I'm trying to explain is about we're talking about NFT stuff and why we choose WISe.ART. Because you said I found the WISe.ART is they have the same vision with us, the same way that they focus on the green stuff as well, the green environment. So this is something different that I found. And then the other thing is, what I said is about previously is a combination between the Web 2 and the Web 3, because there is somebody using Web 2, they don't want to take care about Web 3 and the other side. And also, and that's the things that I want to describe is NFT as we know that before, they're selling something like the Board app, all this kind of stuff. It's no, like Derek said, it's no tangible asset. It's not like something useful. If you put on the music, it's going to be different because you hold something that tangible, just like Derek described before.
Yeah.
So I think NFT cannot be run just like the Web 3, but have to be run together combined with the Web 2 as well. So what we're doing in IM production, after, like Andrew said, we put a song on the streaming platform. I don't want to describe the brand name here. We put on the streaming platform. And then I talked to Simon when we done the, when last time I met Derek and Ron and Simon and Billy in Los Angeles. What happened is, I think we discussed a lot with Derek as well at that time. The streaming platform at the end of the day, not much to make, no one gonna make money from there. That's the point. Yeah. So what we're going to do is, what we're doing right now, like Andrew said, is we make one song, one tree. We make a platform, another option, not trying to against the others.
Yeah.
And then we connect to NFT, and then it become a tangible stuff, and then everybody can get the bonding. They can buy the song. They can plant the tree. That's the things that we're going to do now. And then it's just like the combination. It's the same thing. It's like nowadays AI may be a new things for all of us, but probably in the future, it's going to be like we can find something that can be together to run in the artwork and technology of AI.
Well,
That's
that's
the
where I
things that-
think it's great, and that's where I think
Correct
Derek
me
as
if
well.
I'm wrong. I just want to say something that I want to say.
I don't think you're
Yeah.
wrong at all, and I think Derek as well. You pinpointed it that we at the end of the day, no one can replace the human soul or feeling, but the
Agree with that.
technology is fun to use. And I have an example also. Being in Geneva, I go to Montreux Jazz Festival every summer, and there's a very well reputed fiscal or legal lawyer, fiscal lawyer in Geneva called Xavier Auberson, but he's also a guitarist, and he did a battle against a robot, which was really funny on stage in Montreux at the Jazz Festival. And it was a fun evening, but I have to say the robot was pretty good with his guitar. So, but yeah, I think we need to keep, take a step back and the technology is not going to go away, but we can certainly maintain it or rein it in a little bit. We actually have a question, so I'll read that out straight away. It's from an artist whom I know well called Jaime Miranda Bambaren. He's from Peru, and he works, and this will be for you, Andrew, but he works with eucalyptus roots that he digs out in the areas where they do a lot of mining. And he uses and upcycles those eucalyptus roots and makes these huge, what he calls semillas, which are seeds, but they're like, 4 or 5 meters high, big wooden balls, and eucalypt is very dense wood. And they're right now exhibited in New York in Foley Square in front of the Civic Center. And the exhibition is called 13 Moons. And so the question is, he works with this reclaimed wood to create art. How can I collaborate with your project? I also create videos and NFTs for WISe.ART that show the process of the reclaiming of the trees to create these sculptures. So maybe I'll put you two together at the end of the webinar, and you can do something with, I know you're planting trees, but you might need to clear areas as well at some stage.
I mean, what Jaime is doing is absolutely phenomenal. Sounds right up our street in terms of the what he's doing with WISe.ART with you guys, the production of video, and obviously the wanting or desire to sell NFTs as well. Very similar to the one song, one tree scenario. I think a great collaboration would be for every time somebody downloads, uses, or interacts with his art, we plant trees as well. But I think what he's specifically doing with eucalyptus trees, I'd really love to learn more about that. So if we can jump on a call there, it'd be very, very good. But I actually think from that question, I think that there's an opportunity for us, Sixtine, for us to talk as well within your organization. I believe that there's a lot of opportunity for us to engage with others that are looking to make whatever they're doing as environmentally positive as possible. That's really what we do for the companies and organizations we work with.
WISe.ART has another project which I'm not involved in so much, but it's their core business is actually semiconductors and microchips to actually trace things. They've got satellites going around the world and they trace objects. And they've got a project called E-Tree, where each tree that you could plant could possibly have a chip, and then you would always know if it's been too dry or if it's too wet or if it's been tampered with or etc. So that could be something else, but it's not my resort, unfortunately. I'm the arty person in here.
No problem. I was just wanted to go back actually to that idea of the robot playing the guitar.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah. So Ron, we have a customer this May in the UK who's going to be at a conference. They're a 3D printing company, and they're going to be giving away a 3D printed guitar. Have you ever played anything like that? Would you be interested in playing something like that?
I'd be curious. Yeah. I've played guitars made of some weird things, but I have yet to see a 3D printed one. I mean, it's certainly doable and it's gonna happen. Yeah.
It is happening. I mean, this is technology on a different scale, in a different way, but we can kind of 3D print anything. But the challenge, firstly, for this organization is to be able to print a 3D guitar that you can actually play. So they've already said we can do it, we've done it, and now we're, once they print it, they're going to print it at the event, and then we're going to have various people play it. But it would be interesting if you're up for it. We can see whether we can get one sent over to you and see what you can make of it.
That would be great. Yes.
Ron's guitar is pretty iconic, if you noticed. It's
I
got
do, indeed, yeah, I do. And so maybe it's a version of your double guitar that might make the difference.
Actually, Ron's guitar is made from the eucalyptus wood.
Oh, really?
Yes, the eucalyptus tree is indigenous with Southern Australia, Latin eucalyptus, plural eucalypti. The pods and the leaf actually act as flea repellent for felines. For my cat,
right?
Yes, if you rub the eucalyptus leaf on the cat, it will scare the fleas away.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've lived in Australia and we don't use that. We use tea tree oil.
Oh, okay.
Tea tree works. Yeah, tea tree works.
But yeah, eucalypt are the main food source for koalas.
All right, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm looking up, does eucalyptus repel fleas?
And make sure the plural eucalypti.
Eucalypti.
But the oil, yes, it repels fleas on humans and animals, although animals may not be too happy about having the stuff on their fur, and they're just going to spend all their time licking it off, and it's not going to taste very good. I mean, if they can make it, salmon flavored or something, cats might like it more.
It comes in a spray form. Like we have mosquitoes at a certain time of the year that come in, these little black mosquitoes. There's a eucalyptus spray. I just give myself a little spritz. Fine for the day. They don't touch you.
Okay,
right.
Well, that's good advice. Thank you.
We learn something new every
time
day.
is going on, and I'm going to move on to our surprise. So I'm going to give the mic back to Indra, because you've got this this great collection of 3 photographs, and we're launching them on the NFTs. They're not available yet. And there are 3 photographs and you mentioned his name briefly just a minute ago, given to you or offered to you by Steve Wozniak, who is obviously, Steve Jobs's partner in crime for the creation of Apple. So do you want to tell us a little bit more, Indra?
I'm a big fan of Steve Wozniak and also Steve Jobs. I'm a big fan of them. Yeah. So after after Sixtine, you gave me the information that you have the program with the Red Cross committee, and then I talked to Derek, and then I discussed with Derek again. Derek is the guy who helped me a lot, helped us a lot about this, make this happen. And then and Derek said, "What you do? What you gonna do?" And I said, "Yeah, we need something like, to put everyone together and make this become a item for donation to the program." And then what happened is we came out with the poster that we designed, the artwork, and then the human race for the children of Ukraine. And I sent it to Sixtine. I said, "What about this?" And you said, "Okay." And then I bring it back to Derek. And then what happened is Derek said, "Okay, Indra, send it to me, and I will get everyone to sign on it." And then we send it back to Sixtine, to WISe.ART. And then it took like 3 months back and forth, from Bali to LA to Tennessee, to New Jersey with Ron, signed by Billy in Tennessee, and Ron in New Jersey, and get back to Jakarta and signed by Edo and Onja. And then it took 3 months, and then we have that kind. And in the meantime, I also think about, what should I do? With only one item, what should I do now? Because I'm a big fan of this, big guy, like Steve Wozniak. I'm a tech guy as well, so I'm very admire him. And so I trying to send the email to one of his part of his organization, and always I often connected with Miss Hedy, and I talked to her. I actually describe all these kind of things that we going to do with the Red Cross International Committee, with WISe.ART and all this kind of stuff. And she said, better that the only way that you can do, Indra, we can do is you prepare for some items, and you give it to me, and then I will try to get this signature from Mr. Wozniak. Let's see what we can take from there. And I try, I prepare for that. I buy the items with Nathan. And after we got the item, we get to Mr. Hedy and then Miss Hedy, and then Miss Hedy get back to us like a week or 2 weeks, I think, after the last time I gave the items to her. And she get back to me and said, hey, I got a surprise for you. He sent me the email. Mr. Steve Wozniak have signed on it, on the one item, and then he mentioned that Wozniak is a Ukrainian name. And Hedy was saying, right. She said to me, is that really helpful for the option? I said, yeah, of course, yes. This is very amazing. Is this the first time it's mentioned that? I don't know. And she said that probably yeah, it's the first time. So I'm very grateful that I got a support from him. But yeah, so I get back to our friends, our Dream Team project, and I said this to Derek. I also said, bring this beautiful message to Ron, to Onche, and the other people, the other member. And then we decide that all these items we're gonna put together and give it to the Red Cross International Committee, and then this is the donation on behalf of the Dream Team project. So it's nothing to do with, because Derek said, Indra, you cannot bring somebody names, like personal to everybody will support this project, but donation should be by the on behalf of the Dream Team project. I said, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim. Yeah. So that's why we're so grateful. Big thanks to everyone who involved this project, like Mr. Derek Sherinian, Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, Mr. Billy Sheehan, Mr. Simon Pilit, Mr. Jeff Scott Soto, Mr. Gino Jelusik, Onche Mekel, Edo Widis, and Mr. Steve Wozniak and Miss Hedy. And of course, from the WISe.ART Sixtine. So thank you so much for making this all happen.
The way we're going to make it happen is we're going to add a little bit of gamifying in here, that people have to buy the NFTs if they want to access back to the digital packages. So we're going to launch the NFTs, and what they are actually is the photographs of the poster, the photograph of Steve Wozniak, where he said, Wozniak is a Ukrainian name. And then we've got the first electronic schematic blueprint of Apple computers, and then a photo also dedicated, signed off, autographed off by Mr. Wozniak. And then we've got a photo of the first Apple computer on its little wooden box. I can just imagine these two guys working at the dad's garage there in the back, as we all know the story. So they're really, really collectible items, and I can urge everyone, but if they want to get the real thing, they're going to have to buy the NFTs first in order to bring some children home or back home to who've been unsettled with this horrible war that's going on. And of course, the Red Cross will be happy to help us with that. In fact, one of our in the audience, we should have Mr. Romain Zappella. I'm not sure if he could join us, but he's the one, Romain Zappella of the Red Cross in Geneva, is going to be orchestrating all of these donations. So we're really counting on our audience here to get that going. So we've got two fundraisers today. We've got the ForestNation and the children of Ukraine. And as I said, the Red Cross will be behind that. Now we're going to finish off with, I'm going to give you all the floor, and I always ask the same question. What would you, and now this is musicians, not fine artists, but what, Ron, would you tell young people today? My son is a guitarist, in great admiration of you. So what would you tell him if he wants to come and play? He's already said, Mom, can you get me a roadie job? I'll give up everything and just travel with these guys. So what's your
well,
advice?
first of all, roadies, techs are.
Roadie is actually a derogative.
Is it derogatory?
Name. Yeah, it is derogatory.
Sorry.
So if he wants to be a guitar
like he's a technician.
yes, a guitar technician, usually they can play just as good, if not better, than the musicians on stage.
Come on.
And they can repair a guitar and fix an amp in 10 seconds, where the guitarist would just be staring at it saying, I don't know what to do with this, it's broken. They are truly, they are the ones that keep the show going, and they are very important. They build the world that we crawl on the surface of on stage. If he wanted to become a tech, he should know everything about how to build and repair and make all the gear work and get very quick with it and be good at diagnosing all of that. Plus, he should know what it's like to be on stage, to understand his boss, and just to know what it's like to be in those shoes and all of that. So if that's what he wanted to do, it's not just hanging out on the road and traveling. Because even with the travel, I had to go to Paris 15 times before I got to go up the Eiffel Tower, because you just see it passing in a tour bus, or you see the venue, you see the airport, you see the hotel, but very rarely do you get to experience the place. So it's a lot of travel. It's not a lot of vacation time, it's a lot of travel. If that's what he wanted to do, I could,
He wanted to be a musician. He thought that was going to be his in, though, to be a musician, right?
Yeah, that's what he's sort of saying, yeah.
So if he's going to be a musician, oh, go on, finish.
No, please, go ahead. Please,
if he's got to be a musician,
eucalyptus.
Tell him that there's eucalyptus wood guitars available. Tell him he needs to really, if that's what he's going to do, he has to do it full on and just be great at it. Otherwise, don't bother.
Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Take that.
And practice, and use a metronome.
Yeah, we've got one. I do that too. Andrew, what's your advice to the younger generations?
Yeah, I'm a father of two, an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I'm constantly telling them to be polite, because I find that and then maybe it's a generational thing, but I find that the politeness gets you so much further than not being polite. Aside from that, whatever it is that you choose to do, whatever it is that you decide to do, take it as far as you can. Don't quit halfway through. Take it to see its culmination, to see where it will actually go. So yeah, those are the two things that I advocate. That's
very good advice as well, to persevere and to take it as far as, if you can walk away from somewhere and say, well, I did the best I could, exactly. That's already. Yeah. And Indra, you're the last one. What do you tell people in Southeast Asia?
Don't give up your dream. Dream big and make it happen. Yeah. Dream big.
Okay. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I just want to announce the next webinar, which is on the 26th of April. It will be at 6 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, because we don't have people from both extremes of the world. So it will be 6 to 7 as usual. And it'll be about the eclectic uses of NFTs. And we've got somebody talking about jewelry, about real estate, and somebody from the automobile industry. So that should be fun as well. I can't thank you guys enough. I will put Andrew in touch with Jaime.
Thank you, Sixtine.
And I can only tell the audience that now is the time to buy an NFT and get yourself some music. And continue. Have a nice day. Happy Easter, everybody.
Bye-bye. Likewise. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All righty. Wonderful.
Saring baulan